yeah, ha, yeah. Ball in my court, high step is a layup. My life like a movie, just keep moving, it's a trailer. Chefing in my kitchen, got me trying to get my cake up. I thank God for all this coming to me, not straight up. Ball in my court, high step.
Yeah, like I was saying, like, you know, people will take advantage of you if you're really good, right? Like I've always been a scorer, right? So I can put up like there's people I know that can score, but I always felt like I could put up, like I could end a game. Like if I got hot, I could give you all 16 points, right? And people knew that. So people slapped my elbow when I hit 2 in a row, right? You know, tap me on my, you know, on my leg or my waist or whatever like that, poke me in the stomach real hard, right? Those little things to try to make me miss.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody gets this, Ash. You're not the only one.
I know, but I get it like if you, here's the thing, right? This is how people play defense, right? You shoot a shot, you put a hand up, the guy makes it. Okay, now I get a little bit closer. Okay, now I really try to block a shot. He makes it, right? Now I'm poking him. That's the thing. Not a lot of people shoot that well where you you contest a couple times and they're hitting it every single time, you know? So it's different. That's why I get it so much more consistent. And other shooters who really shoot like what's his name, Klay Thompson from the gym and stuff like that. Like he would get stuff like that all the time. He would call and complain because like a guy like that can shoot you out the game consistently. So people will implore those things. I'm not saying everyone else doesn't get taps on the elbow or whatever. It happens to the best of us, but usually happens to people when it's like a game point or when dudes are really hot all the time, you know, randomly, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be a lot of things. Like if a dude's just stronger than everybody else, they get it. Like we saw
exactly.
Shaq in the NBA.
Exactly. If someone's stronger.
Yeah.
But it's just, you often don't see a lot of pickup run where somebody really could just like score a ton of points consistently all the time and take over games to the point where people will implore that consistently, you know? And if you don't nip it in the bud, people are going to continue to keep doing it.
Oh, people might continue to keep doing it no matter what. But I think always the best players on the floor get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and so for me, I'm just the type, I'm different. I'm not going to be that guy's like, hey, you know, whatever, I'm not going to call it. I'm going to call it every time because I'm that competitive. Because I know people do that so they can win.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I'm trying to win all the time, why the fuck would I let them do that? Right? I'm just too competitive. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm sure Michael Jordan and Kobe, when they played pickup and stuff like that, they were the same exact way. Like, they want to win. And I get it. The people who slap my elbow, poke me, do all that stuff, they want to win too. That's their strategy. But I'm going to call it. If I have the ability to call the calls, I'm going to call it, you know? So I think that people found that very annoying, you know, from me. I didn't really care. I don't like, I think a lot of times too, when you play pickup, because it is a social thing, so many people, like, they play it in the vein of like, hey, let's everybody be friends. I could be friends off the court. That's cool. On the court, I'm trying to win. You know what I mean? Like, so if I'm not liked because I call some calls or whatever, that doesn't bother me. I think the biggest like testament to people's character is when who I am on the court starts to reflect who you think I am off the court. You know, and that's the biggest issue I've always had with a lot of people. Because I can be, you know, a certain type of person on the court, and then off the court, I feel like I'm much more approachable and amicable, you know, and fair.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I also think, and I know you haven't been playing as much lately, but people these days don't like talking shit in person, but they like talking shit on the internet. And I don't know if it's the same people talking shit on the internet that aren't talking in person, but it's like when you talk shit these days, they're like, why are you talking shit? And that would never even be a response like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now people with no AVIs on the internet, they talk the most shit. Like the people that don't have their face on their AVI, like they're the ones who talk shit. And the people on the court who are themselves in the flesh, like they think it's a big deal when you talk shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a time. It's just it's the times. Like you don't holla at a girl in person. We already talked about this. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
You holla at her on the internet. That is, like, I think we live in a society now that is more anxious than ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people succumb to their anxiety far more. So it's easier to do things electronically and cry in silence, or suffer in silence. That's just how things are. And I think that you empower yourself through the internet. Like, there's a lot of these chicks that people see that are...
Isn't it more empowering to do things in person?
It should be, but I think people get empowered more through an avatar. You know what I mean? The internet is an avatar.
It's like a cheap empowerment, though.
Absolutely, yeah. It's dope. It's dopamine. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're empowered through that. Like, bro, I because of my industry, I see a lot of really attractive women on the internet, from the internet.
Got you. Copy.
Video vixens, actresses. I see and then you get to know them in person, and you're like, wow, this is an insecure person, right?
Okay.
Or they just don't.
I mean,
look
but
as good.
what would make you think they're automatically secure because of them being, I don't know, a video vixen? That's an old term, by the way, video vixen. But
yeah, well,
Instagram IG model is the right way to say it.
I guess it's IG model. Yeah, I still call them video vixens.
Yo, that is like the '90s, bro.
Yeah, I'm old school, so But like, yeah, I guess IG models.
Like, why would you think they're necessarily secure? Like, why does that surprise you?
I mean, it's like, I'm not saying that like I was surprised or
Got
not,
you.
but you see these women who every single picture has a crazy amount of likes, crazy amount of comments, people talking about how attractive they are. So their DMs are wild,
Yeah.
right? Their images on social media are often curated to make them look like their life is amazing. Traveling, getting flown out, being on set, being, having money, shopping expense sprees, all these things.
Oh, they're getting flown out.
Yeah. They out there. They out there, So they outside, fam. They really outside. But I mean, at the end of the day, you look at all this shit and you're like, oh, this person's doing it.
Yeah.
And then you meet them in person and you're like, oh, like, they don't look as hot. Like, oh, they're a little bit more overweight than you think. Like, so
you know what though?
I
feel like all the way up, people are just people. Everybody has flaws. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah, absolutely.
There's actually like a saying, like, there's idiots all the way up.
Yeah, and then even like, I don't care who you are, right? There's a lot of people that put themselves out on social media and they the haters are gonna say whatever they say. That's just they're building me up. I don't care if your attitude is good about the hate that comes to you. It is absorbed.
Yeah,
absolutely. You
absorbed.
Feel it.
Yeah,
you feel it. And all of these women put themselves out there. Like,
you got to be strong from within.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you still, even if you're the strongest from within, you feel it. What I mean? It's hard. Like, I'm working my butt as hard as I possibly can to not let it hit me. And it's still, like
stuff we do.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I try not to read them anymore, but like, you get all these notifications and then you just click on one and you try to just like not even look at it. But the first line is, who the fuck is this asshole? Whatever, right? This dude doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, dumbass. But like, you see just even those two lines and you try to just like not, okay, I'm flipping to the next thing or whatever. But just that, you absorb it and it sits with you.
It's so interesting. It has a lot. There's so much to unpack there. It has a lot to do with your relationship with your smartphone, right? Like, that's a big part of it. And honestly, like, you talked about the haters thing. Like, there's a lot of people out there that want to be doing what you're doing, bro. Talking basketball into these high-level cameras. Absolutely. And having people comment on it.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it.
But at the end of the day, even while you rationalize it, still it's absorbed.
I see what you're
saying.
You know what I
mean? Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
I rationalize it all the time, and because I understand energy. I know how energy works, right? Like
completely. You know how energy works?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's like, at the end of the day, right?
How does energy work?
Right? Energy is never lost or gained. It's only transferred, right?
Interesting.
That's just physics, right? So people are angry inside and they want to release, they have to release that energy, right? So maybe talking shit to some stranger it seems innocent on social media, calling them an idiot, is just transferred energy for what they want to say to their wife or their boss or their whatever. You know what I mean? And it's just they're letting it out. So that's how I rationalize it. You know what I mean? Because I know that. You know, like I know, like when I stopped playing basketball, I was afraid that energy that I put out on the court, like that anger, because I played with anger often, you know, not because I was angry at the players I played with, but it was like something that fueled me, right? And I was able to go on the court and just like tell anyone anything I wanted, say whatever. Like I didn't disrespect people, but I called people out, right? And in the world that I live in, sometimes you can't call people out. Clients are paying you and all this other stuff. And you have to capitulate.
It's a business.
Like, yeah, it's a business. You have to capitulate to their needs and all that shit. So, you know, getting a platform where I can call someone out, say this, yo, you fucking up, you doing this, whatever. You know what I mean? All this shit. And they could do it back to me as well, too. And hopefully, you know, we both understand that we just want to win and it doesn't mean anything, right? That's a great stress reliever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that you don't have to do that to your loved ones, your family, your friends, whatever. You know what I mean? You get to do that on the court in a constructive way, and that energy that maybe you feel for something else can be channeled into coming out here, you know, talking shit, and then it's over.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes I don't think people have that outlet. So I think the internet is an outlet for them, calling people out, you know, like I like at the end of the day, fam, like these quote unquote straightest motherfuckers in the world, right? Why the fuck do you care what gay people do? What the fuck does that have to do with you? Like, I get so shocked at how many so-called straight people constantly talk about the agenda of gay people. I go, do you want to have sex with them? Like, fam, like, why do you care about who they having sex with? You should just care about who you want to have sex with. Why does that bother you? Why does the shit Dwayne Wade is doing with his family, why does that bother so many straight people? I don't get that. Like, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to bother you and your life at all. Like, I'm just so fascinated by that topic. Like, I'm like, bro, if the dude wants to paint his nails, I'm not doing it. But why the fuck do y'all care? Like,
isn't that in high fashion now, though? Like,
it kind of is in young people. So, like, I get it. Yeah. Like, you know, Jalen Green paints his fingernails.
He got a lot of stuff going on, but that's all this.
Yeah. What's his name was doing the same thing. His teammate that got kicked off the team. Yeah. A lot of people doing it. What's his name? At
the end of the day, there's a lot of people doing it.
There's a lot of people doing it. You know. Yeah. So, but like, fam, like, you know, who cares?
Yeah.
Like we are old, fam. Like, we are kind of old. Like, the shit that we did that was cool, I don't care if you're doing it now. It probably ain't cool anymore. You know?
Well, the baggy thing did go for full circle, right?
Yeah, but it's a different type of baggy.
It is.
It's like, it's different. But like, fam, I never understood that. But that is a thing that people are doing to kind of push that energy out. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it is what it is. Like, you got to let it out.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch the JJ Redick, LeBron James podcast?
I watched half of it, but it was hard to watch, bro. It was hard to watch.
Was it? I mean, like, look, like I don't even know if you're like 22 episodes in with this, right? Mm-hmm. Has it been a hard transition for you?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's a better question. Here's a better question. Is podcasting easy for you?
I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not hard for me, but I think it's not hard for me to speak. Now, having a good podcast, that is hard. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that could be a good podcast. I think LeBron is very hard for LeBron to get his points across. I feel like I don't understand often what he's trying to convey. You know?
Is it because he's a genius, you think?
No. It's like I'm always like, that's not what I was expecting you to say. That I'm trying to understand, you know? They're like, you know, what makes a great basketball player? History of the game. What? What? I was so shocked by that answer. I was like, knowing the history of the game, I was like, I think Ant's a great basketball player, and I guarantee Ant doesn't know anything before the 2000s about basketball. Like, and Ant's a great basketball player. Like, Ant doesn't even watch current basketball. So
they say you
know,
learn from what other people's mistakes in the past, history.
You know,
I mean, knowing your history as a filmmaker, I'm sure, is important.
Yeah, there's parts of it. But I mean, there's like there's parts of it that absolutely you're right. But like new age filmmakers, they're not checking for like Stanley Kubrick shit. They're just not, and they're making some great content.
Yeah.
Like I understand what he's trying to say, but I feel like LeBron isn't saying what he truly means. He's saying what he thinks is the right thing
what
to
he
say.
wants people to know. I love Steph. He added like a few. I love Steph Curry. Why he said like
LeBron's a very interesting person.
Yo, but the discipline and sacrifice piece of it was really important because I think
that was the best thing that I think he pointed.
That's an absolute truth, and you know this as a filmmaker in any field. To be at the absolute top, or to even be the best version of yourself, it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
And I mean, it like I always said, it's like being the best basketball player you could be is more than a full-time job.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? One of the greatest gifts that you can have when trying to excel in anything is the ability to singular focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will get you further individually than other people. But it is also one of the greatest curses because you'll separate yourself from your loved ones, right? I think it's the age-old like a conflict that people have, right? If you are really, really individually focused, right, you cannot devote to your family. It sucks. And I was like that for so much of my life, and I never really thought that I was gonna like. I mean, I was like the idea of having a family. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, you know. But I gotta get these films done. I gotta work on this. I gotta get to the next level. I gotta, you know. And then, you know, a woman, my wife, came into my life unexpectedly during a time where I needed her more than anything because I was dealing with a lot of health issues. And she just changed my whole perspective. She flipped my whole idea about people, you know, and how important they were because I had career success right when I got my health issues. Like I had the most money I had in my bank account. I just came off 3 feature films. Like I really thought my career was about to take off. And for a year and a half, I really couldn't do anything. And all the money I had in my bank account didn't matter. I was spending on doctors, like, you know, trying to figure out what was wrong with me, you know, specialists all over the country, all over the world. I was calling people in the UK, you know, and it didn't matter. The money didn't even matter. Like, all I wanted to do was spend more time with her. I thought I was going to die at a certain point. So I was like, man, I would trade in everything I have just for more time and health. So you have to have that balance in life because no matter how hard you singularly go towards what you're trying to do, at a certain point, you're going to need people. It could be now. It could be 20 years from down the road once you're elderly and you need support, but you were so focused on this that people kind of just left you. She's like, yo, he's doing his thing. And then those relationships are weak. Now, you know, that now you need help because, you know, you're older or whatever the circumstances are. Nobody's here to help you. So you have to have that balance in life, you know, and I didn't realize that until I got sick. So now, like, I really try to do both. I try to figure out a way to, like, pursue my career as much as I possibly can while still devoting and dedicated time to my family, you know?
Yeah, that's work-life balance.
It's a real thing, and I think people say that as like a slogan, but people really don't abide by it. Like I really.
You mean abide by it by trying to do it, or they're just so singularly focused that they don't even pay enough attention to their family? Like in which way?
Both ways, you know.
Okay,
I think that we try to eat every meal together. Sit down and eat every single meal together, and like no phones and talk, look each other in the eye every meal, right? Weekends, I try not to work. Try to devote, like that is like uncompromised time that we have together where none, you know, you don't have to work, I don't have to work. Like we have our kid, we can go do our thing. So I try to do that. And then another thing we're trying to implement is like a trip a month. You know, if you know, even if it's just like copping an Airbnb in like, you know, the mountains of central Pennsylvania and driving 2-3 hours away, you know. So that's the goal.
What were you trying to tell me about Draymond's reaction to LeBron's pod?
Oh, I was saying, man, LeBron be doing LeBron type shit.
But it was Draymond's reaction.
I understand, but what did LeBron do? LeBron said he was going to go on Draymond's podcast. He hasn't got on his podcast while saying he's too busy to get on Draymond's podcast. He's setting up his own podcast with JJ Redick. That's some LeBron type shit.
I mean, it is his own podcast, so it's a priority.
I understand, but like, fam, you like at the end of the day,
you seen his comment though? He said he's about to go on.
But that's, of course, LeBron said that he's saving face. But that's probably what he did with Dan Gilbert in Cleveland. That's why Dan Gilbert wrote that hate letter to him. You know,
LeBron tried to kill the 2-for-1.
I feel for LeBron because he can see it. He can see its ending. He can see the attention that all these other players are getting.
So he's trying to jump in the podcast lane?
He's just like, the thing about LeBron's always been a media contorter. Like that's his thing. He plays with the media.
So podcast makes sense.
Yeah, so he plays with the media. He's like, he did, even with his, what do you call it? He did the same thing, the More Than a Game. Yeah, like he's just trying to steal some clicks, man. And I don't think he has to. You know, like I don't know, but everyone has a different path, man. Like I guess I'm a Kobe fan, and I liked Kobe. Kobe was more reclusive when he came out.
Can't you appreciate both?
No, I can't.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying one person.
Yeah, you can appreciate both. Yeah. I'm just saying me. You know, so like I'm saying this is my reason. Maybe because I'm a Kobe fan, I don't appreciate like a guy who's already popular trying to like put himself out there more. Like I'm like, relax, dude. Like we know who you are, LeBron James, man.
You know, it's funny because he was basically talking about like context when it comes for the 2-for-1. Like he was speaking to momentum, like what happened the play before. And if you're going to take a terrible shot, you might as well not even go 2-for-1, which is true. But if you could get a good shot early, then it does make sense to go 2-for-1 in most scenarios. But the thing is like, I just hope that for coaches around the country, they might just stop doing 2-for-1s because LeBron said something. All these youth coaches, LeBron said, "Oh, you should have go 2-for-1."
Yeah, I think LeBron. You think
he has that type of influence, or we're like we'll see less 2-for-1s now just because he said that?
I don't know. People worship LeBron's word like it's gospel, though. I'll tell you that.
Well, first of all, nobody's basketball opinion is gospel. Not one person.
Yeah,
because there's different philosophies.
Absolutely. There's different ways to win, man.
Yeah, 100%.
And it feels like every single 5 years there's a new coach that finds a new philosophy to win that gets mimicked. That's just how it works. Like and there's a time like everyone was following the Warriors, what the Warriors are doing. Warriors can't even figure out what they're doing now. You know what I mean? Like they look so discombobulated. They have, so it's like that is not working anymore. You know, people are gonna be like, oh, I mean, if Joker and them wins, there's gonna be a whole bunch of dudes like Joker, Sengun.
Well, I mean, Sengun is the next evolution.
Exactly. Joker. If Joker wins, everyone's gonna be looking for Sengun or Joker or George Niang. Everyone's gonna look for a sloppy-bodied person.
Trade to Steph is like Sengun to Jokic. There's always many.
What you say?
Trade to Steph is Sengun to Jokic. When you have a great player, you're going to see players like them, you know?
So it's like, I mean, it allows for people like that to find success because I think like like a guy like Steph, you know, people didn't appreciate that before. Like I had a similar-ish game, like Steph, Dame type of long 3-point shooters, but we're older. I mean, I'm about to be 40, so like you shooting a 3 4 feet behind the 3-point line was impractical back in our day. It's all worth. The coach is like, it's worth the same points. Why would you shoot that? It's a bad shot, you know. But I used to do that back in the day because I watched a guy from Massachusetts he went to UMass named Monty Mack. I was a huge Monty Mack fan, you know. And one of the things he used to do was pull up from a step in front of half court. There was also a guy that went to my school named D. Thomas. He used to shoot half quarters one on one on a fast break, and we hit him. That shit was showtime to me. So he introduced me to shooting deep threes, and I incorporated it within my game. Because for me, I'm a better open shooter than a contested shooter, like most people. So I will shoot a higher percentage 4 feet behind the 3-point line wide open than on the 3-point line with the hand in my face.
Of course. I mean, there's benefits to having people with range. I mean, it gives you more spacing, right? There's more gravity.
Well, I mean,
and on top of that, you could hit the defense before it's even set.
Absolutely. But that wasn't even these words were not even part of the vocabulary when we played back in the day.
Right. But you know what the funny thing was? People would take long twos and think that's a good shot.
Exactly.
When if you take one step back, it's a 3.
It's 100%.
But that's when analytics got into the mix.
I would do that too because I was always a step backer back in the day because I'd be right at I catch the ball on the line or in front of the 3-point line, and I would step back and shoot a 3
before Harden made it a thing.
Well, just to shoot a 3, like not like to create space from the defense. I'd have a wide open long 2, and I'd step back and shoot a 3 with a hand closing out to me. Okay. And my coach used to always say it was a bad shot because you have a wide open 2, and I was like, but 3 is worth more, you know. And I also had better muscle memory for 3 than 2, so for me it was always a better shot. Right.
Did you hear IT tell Dre to his face that KD saved the Warriors dynasty?
I think first of all, that's a strong headline. He said that, but he also said they saved his legacy as well too. Right? Yeah. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, but that's not fun.
Yeah. Everybody wants to say some clickbaity shit, but yeah, it's the truth. Absolutely. I mean, like, I still think the Warriors figure out a way to regroup and win a championship.
So you think they have 3 with no KD?
Yeah, I think they still get one. I think like they were 73-9 the year before, and they were 3 up, 3-1 up against Cleveland. I'm not saying that the next year that Cleveland team was really, really good, right? They were very, very good. I still think that it's a puncher's chance. Like they both have the ability to win those titles. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion LeBron sweeps, but I'm also not saying that they don't lose, as well too. So I think that both legacies were intact or established because of their union. So I mean, I don't. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Steph was the face, Draymond was the engine, KD was their best player though.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Steph was the engine.
Everything runs through Draymond. Draymond acted as their point guard in a lot of ways.
I understand, but it's only because Draymond was the most disciplined to run the offense through Steph.
Was the most disciplined to run.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everybody else is trying to get theirs. Draymond's like, Steph's our best player. Let's get him the ball. Let's run everything through Steph, and then if the defense runs with Steph, I got KD backdoor. I got Clay for the 3. Like I understand that, but like at the end of the day, Steph was the engine, right? Draymond was like maybe the alternator. You know what I mean? Like
I disagree. I think everything ran through Draymond.
No.
Steph was the face.
No, everything ran through Steph.
The engine is the point guard, and I don't think Steph was really like a point guard. Like.
But here's the thing, like you can say like I get it. I think everyone wants, like, that is a talking point, like having Draymond as the point guard setting the plays, right?
Initiating offense.
But here's the thing, right? The offense was run through Steph, right? Like, okay, so this is a perfect example. Like, the point guards that were on,
But can I say one thing? If the offense was run through Steph, that means Steph starts the offense.
No. I'm talking, Steph he was the catalyst for, the engine for the offense, right? So every single offensive play was run with the idea of creating a shot for Steph Curry. Now, with all of that attention towards Steph Curry, it created opportunity.
That's not necessarily true what you're saying.
Yes, it was.
No, I don't think so.
So, not every single play. Okay, then I'll take that back. Not every single play.
He was the first option, obviously.
Most of the plays were created for Steph Curry to get a shot. They'd run around, even if it was a decoy.
It's simple terms. It's a whirlwind,
okay,
and we'll get what we're going to get.
Even if it was a decoy, because they did that.
A lot of that.
They did that because they knew the attention that Steph got.
Easy layups
Would give everybody else easy layups.
Yes.
So much
clay threes and all kinds
clay
of stuff.
threes and everything, backdoors and everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying
That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying everything ran through the idea of Steph getting a shot. Because if you can create the fear that Steph is going to shoot, it's going to create openings for everyone else. Now, Draymond was the person who made those decisions all the time, right? He was the one who was like, let's set this up for Steph. Let's do this. Because they didn't run offense every single time.
So what's your definition of an engine in general? That sounds like an engine to me.
And no, the engine is what allows the entire car to move. What initiates it is called the ignition. So you can say Draymond's the ignition. He starts it, but Steph is what makes the entire thing move. There's a difference between the catalyst, which is the ignition.
I feel like Clay and Steph are moving around Dre.
What do you mean?
Clay and Steph are moving around Dre. Dre's initiating. Dre's the engine.
Initiate means start. Start means ignite.
Well, LeBron starts and he's the engine, right?
Yeah, so LeBron's both. But starting is different. Like that's the ignition, right? So like to start the offense is the ignition. Like when you start your car, that's you the ignition is that's what Draymond is. But the actual engine is what makes everything move.
I think he makes everything move. Dre.
No.
He
starts it. He starts it.
I think he makes everything
like
move
he could be the transmission. I'll tell you that. Transmission.
He's like the sun.
No.
The planets are going around him, bro.
No, that doesn't make sense, bro.
It does. Because he acted as their point guard, their point forward.
No. Okay. Yes, he acted as their point guard.
You're saying the idea of Steph.
He initiated the offense, which is the engine. Maybe I'll give him the transmission. He put people into gear. Like at the end of the day, Steph's the one making everybody move. Because if Drake, he can't, like, you can't be the engine, bro. Like, that don't make no sense, bro.
You don't just because you're the engine don't mean you're the best player.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
so why can't he be the engine?
Because he sets it up for other people. The focus is not Draymond. The focus is Steph Curry.
The tough thing about the Warriors was you didn't know where to focus.
No, you focused on Steph. That was always the focus. No matter what, you try to let Clay kill you. You try to let somebody else kill you.
Who KD?
Like even KD. I remember watching the games, bro. They used to talk about it. They would say, Kenny Smith would always say, like, honestly, as good as KD is, you got to play for KD to be the guy who takes the shot. Because if KD does his thing going one-on-one, it doesn't make everybody else better. He does score. But
I wouldn't say
when
it doesn't.
Steph does stuff, it makes everybody else better.
KD can make others better as well. I mean, I don't know if that's true.
No, I'm not saying KD can't make others better. I'm saying when KD scores, it doesn't ignite everybody else. The way Steph scores, it ignites everybody else. So if KD goes off for 35, you might still win the game. If Steph goes off for 35, it's opening the door for everybody else. And then Clay might give you 30. KD might give you 28. You know what I mean?
Well, I also said KD was the best player. Do you agree with that? Or do you think Steph was the best player?
I mean, if individually best player, yes. Like if you're talking about who has the best stature, yes, I would say that. The most important player was Steph, which could be the best player on that team if you're the most important. But if you're just talking about best player breaking down KD, Steph, yeah, it's KD,
More skilled, Kobe or Kyrie?
Kobe. Like I don't understand like people like you and people like most people on the internet, right? Right?
They're different.
They don't
combo on the internet. You guys are over here. Me, Ash, I'm over here. Go ahead though.
I'm gonna say,
Go ahead.
Yeah, you haven't let me finish. People like you and people like on the internet.
Me and the internets.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Literally only equate offense when it comes to skill. You've already talked about it. You don't fuck with defense. You don't think about defense. It's not even in the equation.
Tell him, Ash.
Right? I'm only saying what you said. You said you've even agreed to this on the podcast.
Facts.
Pull it up.
Facts.
So, individual offensive player, maybe I would say Kyrie is more individually offensive skilled than Kobe. But at the end of the day, that's not all basketball is. You know what I mean? If you are looking, if you play 2K, right?
If Kyrie was 6'6" and more athletic, he'd probably be a better defender. But that doesn't necessarily talk to his skill.
What are you talking about? Chris Paul is a great defender at that height.
Not like Kobe and Jordan, though.
Chris Paul made as many all-defensive teams.
Is, skill doesn't necessarily mean better player, right?
Okay, so just because you're short, you can't be a good defender?
But when you're Kobe's size, you have a tremendous advantage over a guy who's Kyrie's size as a defender, yeah.
Okay,
but that doesn't mean
tons of tall people that aren't as good defenders as short people.
But that doesn't mean he's more skilled in that regard.
He has more.
He's just better. He's just a better defensive player, and he's a better player overall.
So the thing about skills, right? It's a whole list of attributes, right? Kyrie has got what on Kobe, right? Maybe he's a better three-point shooter.
Look, he's more efficient. He has more handle. He has more options as an offensive player. He's a better three-point shooter. He has more under-the-rim finishes. I mean, Kobe's a better dunker, obviously. But you always have to, like there's a lot of players.
Wait. He's got more under-the-rim finishes? That's a ridiculous take. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
He does. Kyrie's the best under-the-rim finisher ever.
Okay, you can say that he might be the best under-the-rim finisher, right? But to say that he has more finishes than Kobe Bryant,
finishing options. Finishing.
Well, that's
options.
Not what you said. You said
you should know that though. Either foot,
finishing.
Either foot, either
He's
hand.
Got more finishes. Those were your words.
But you didn't let me speak. What I'm saying is, it doesn't necessarily mean better player when you say more skillful.
I didn't say.
Kobe is a better defender, but it's hard to equate.
Okay, so
we're just talking about skill.
How can you not equate skill when it comes to being a better defender?
Because a lot of the defense that
So what if you list the attributes, right? Because just like if you play 2K, you play 2K, right?
Yeah.
Right? You have your attributes, right? These are all skill-based attributes, right? Right? You got your dribbling, shooting, right? You have your defense, you have your rebounding, you have your passing, right? Like what else you have? Blocking, right? Right? These are steals.
Yeah.
Like literally Kobe's better than Kyrie at like 7 or 8 of those, right?
Well,
So he's better at steals, he's better at blocking, he's better at defense, he's better at rebounding, he's better at scoring. Even though Kyrie is a better scorer, he's still better at scoring. Like what is Kyrie better than him at? Yes. Dribbling, I'll give him that. Okay. Passing, Kobe's still better than him. Like
no, I wouldn't say so.
He has more assists. He's a better passer.
So.
Like he has more assists. Kyrie's averaged 3-point something assists for his career. Kobe's averaged 5+. So like, what are we saying? Like, look at the numbers. Kyrie doesn't pass, bro.
You didn't. I mean, I said my piece already. I mean, you said he had more handle. I say he's a more efficient shooter. I say he's
Okay,
more,
I'll give him a shooting.
he's a more skillful finisher. That's a lot of things right there.
Skillful finisher?
Yeah, and also
how is he a more skillful
but
finisher?
listen, the way he moves off the ball into shots, like he could pivot either way into
So
shots.
can Kobe.
Like, yeah, they're both good at that, but I think Kyrie is better at shooting in that regard than Kobe.
Okay, I'll give him. I said shooting. I said that.
Yeah.
So shooting, dribbling. That's all.
Shooting, dribbling, passing. How much more do you need?
No, he's not passing. He's not better at passing, bro. He doesn't pass.
Kobe never hung his hat on passing. Like he was a good passer.
And he still averaged 2 more assists than Kyrie.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're a better passer. You can't just.
Then why is Kyrie a better passer? Explain to me why Kyrie is a better passer.
He has more options as a passer.
Why?
He has more passes because the evolution of the game. He learned from the people before.
So he has more options for a passer, and he still doesn't pass. So like what? Like the guy averaged 3 assists a game.
Role matters. He plays with Luka. He plays with LeBron.
So even if I can't see it, if you can't be proven to me, then I can't say that he has it.
Eye test doesn't matter.
Oh, I have not seen Kyrie. I've never seen.
But you just disregarded everything I said.
I've never seen Kyrie have a pass where I'm like, oh my God, Kyrie's a great passer. Have you?
Kobe's a better player, but Kyrie's more skillful.
He's not. He's just not. Like there's just it's just not. Like he can Kobe when it comes to being skillful, it's about checking the boxes. Kobe checks more boxes than Kyrie. I'm sorry.
Doesn't. No, not in terms of skill. In terms of player, yes. In terms of skill,
no. And that is part of skill. Like the boxes, the attributes.
You already admitted he had more handle, right?
I will give you handle. Okay. I will give you shooting.
He's a more efficient shooter. That's a lot of basketball right there already.
Okay. He's a more efficient
3-level scorer. Definitely. It's not even close.
Okay, but what about the other end of the court? What about the rebounding? That's a part of skill.
Yeah.
What about the defense? That's a part of skill.
It is a part of skill, but listen,
what about the playmaking for other people? That's a part of skill.
But listen, a lot of that has to do with
And then you're talking about it.
Listening. You're just talking. You're just screaming, bro. Athleticism and size has to be put into the equation, and that's not necessarily skill. That's the gifts he was given. Like Giannis is a better player because of his athleticism and size often, even though some players are more skillful than him. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see that, but like, you're talking about Giannis and Kobe Bryant. You're talking about Kobe Bryant like Kobe can't shoot.
No, but I'm talking to your defensive point.
But here's the thing. The defensive point is significantly higher than Kobe's, and if you give the offensive part to Kyrie, it's barely better. Like you're talking about, this is Kobe Bryant we're talking about. We're not talking about him compared to Smush Parker. Like Kobe can fucking shoot too. Kobe can fucking score too. Kobe is one of the greatest finishers in the game. You're talking about Kyrie can finish. I give him that.
You already admitted that Kyrie's more offensively skillful.
I said I said that's the argument that people say. Like
I'm asking you.
I didn't. For me, I think Kobe's more offensively skilled, but I said that about other people. People say that Kyrie's, might be the most greatest offensive skill player ever. If he's so offensively skilled, why can't you win a scoring title, fam? Why can't you score more than 23 a game, fam? Dog, people said the same thing about Melo. Oh my God, Melo's he's the best scorer to ever play the game. No scoring titles, fam.
Because skill isn't everything. Skill isn't everything, bro. You got to
But I'm not saying skill. I'm saying people are talking about him like he's the greatest offensive player ever. People say this about Kyrie. The greatest offensive player ever.
Nobody said that. They said he's the most skillful offensive player ever. It's a big difference.
Okay.
Because Michael Jordan was a way better offensive player.
Okay, so most skilled offensive player ever.
Yeah, you have to break down the skill part of it. Like, it's a compartment of the full equation.
I get it. I'm not saying Kyrie is not incredibly skilled. I think he is. He is up there. He is probably 1, 2, 3 or 4 potentially, right? Right in that equation. But you're talking like he's so much ahead of Kobe Bryant.
I just said he's more, and he's probably the most. That's all. I didn't say so much more. I was just giving you the reasons why he was. But
here's the thing. If he is, let's say he's slightly better than Kobe Bryant, right?
Yeah, and I gave you all the reasons why.
Kobe is so much more superior in so many other categories that his overall skill personally.
No, you're talking about him as an overall player is better.
Those are skills, fam. Like you don't just wake up and you're good at defense. Like,
but a lot of the defensive stuff is from what I'm saying is from the athleticism and the size as well.
Then every athletic person should be fucking good at defense, and that's not the case, bro.
Which is kind of a different compartment than skill. Like the skill of him as in terms of his handle, in terms of his efficiency as a shooter, in terms of his how ambidextrous he is.
So is Kobe. Kobe hit a 3-pointer lefty in a game, fam. What are you saying? Dog, like people are talking. You're talking like Kyrie is head and shoulders above Kobe offensively.
I never said that.
But you're talking like that.
Offensively is a different conversation than the skill of being an offensive player.
You're talking about Kyrie's offensive skill is like head and shoulders above Kobe Bryant.
I didn't say that.
But you're talking like that. Okay, so let's say you were going to rate them out of 100, right? What do you rate Kyrie? What do you rate Kobe?
I mean, Kobe's a better player.
No, I'm talking about offensive skill. Your definition of offensive skill. What do you rate Kyrie? What do you rate Kobe?
In terms of offensive skill?
Offensive skill.
Like if we're doing like what? Like 2K?
Up to 100. 100, yeah. 2K or 90.
Mean,
yeah.
Kyrie's probably at 100 and Kobe's probably at 97.
Okay. What about defensive?
I mean, Kobe was a better defender, obviously.
What are you rating?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Why can't you rate that, but you can rate the offense? Why can't you? Why? Like
Kobe's probably like 98,
and what's Kyrie?
Like 80, something 85.
So you don't think that discrepancy makes up for the 3%?
Yeah, but a lot of the reasons that Kobe's a better defender is because of the athleticism and the size.
No, it's not, fam. The whole NBA is athletic and tall. What the fuck are you talking about? Why isn't everybody as good at defense as Kobe then? If the whole NBA is Kobe's size. Kobe's considerably he's shorter than the average NBA player now. Kobe Bryant is shorter
I don't know about
and probably as athletic or less athletic than the average NBA player now.
That is not true as well. No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Kobe was doing crazy dunks in games. No, he's not. What are you talking about? He was doing 360s in the lane.
I understand.
What are you talking about?
Right now, the NBA median height is over 6'6".
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
What
because a lot of the bigs are phased out and the smalls are phased out as well.
But most people are 6'7".
We got to look at that. I don't know.
Bro, look it up, bro. The median height is over 6'6" now.
I think it's
6'6". Point guards are 6'3". What are you talking about?
Well, all that matters is Kyrie is a lot smaller than Kobe.
Okay, I understand, but I'm saying everybody has most of what Kobe had athletic-wise and size-wise. Why weren't they as good a defender as Kobe then, if that's all it takes to you?
No,
right?
Kobe was a great defender.
What?
Kobe was a great defender.
Okay, but you're saying Kobe was a great defender because of his size and athleticism.
I didn't say only because of that, but that's the advantage he had over Kyrie.
But Kyrie, dog, there's great small guards that can play defense, bro.
Skill is a certain compartment.
There's great small guards that play great defense. Why can't Kyrie do it? Kyrie's not. It's not like Kyrie's unathletic. I've seen Kyrie.
Kyrie's not a terrible defender, first of all.
But he ain't Kobe. You just said he's an 80 compared to 90,
Kobe's
97.
A better defender. We're in agreement. Why you screaming?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. What Kobe does defensively makes up for the 3% that maybe Kyrie has over him offensively.
You're having a different conversation. You're having a conversation about player.
I'm talking. That's part of skill, bro. Defense is part of skill. See, this is what I'm talking about. You don't think about defense as a part of the game in terms of skill.
I'm not. You could be a skilled defender, of course. I'm not saying that. So tell me about Kobe's skill as a defender. Tell me about that. I want to learn about that.
Kobe played the passing lane, right? Kobe, he would muck up your defense because no.
This one sounds like effort, but go ahead.
That is part of skill. Effort is also part of skill, bro. There are people in the NBA that are literally, their skill point is their effort. That's how they're making a living in the NBA. That's why they're even there. That's a skill nowadays because there's so many people that are so entitled that play this game that don't give their effort. That giving effort is also part of skill now. It is hard. Just like I said to you, one of the greatest gifts is having that singular focus to be able to fucking go and do what you fucking need to do to be great. There are so many people in the NBA that are making a living and cruising and making money off of potential. They could go so much fucking harder. Ant Edwards, he's a fucking great defender this year because he's putting in fucking effort. Right?
Yeah,
now people are considering him one of the best players in the game because his defensive prowess has gone up.
Right.
that's part of your skill, bro.
You're not saying anything wrong. Yeah.
That's part of your skill. That plays a part, bro. Like that, like people are not factoring in the defense, the rebounding part. Like if right now, first of all, Kobe's a significantly better rebounder too. So that is a huge part of the game. As skilled as Nikola Jokic is right now, if he wasn't as good as a defender, he can't create he can't initiate the offense. He is not even close to as good as a player if he doesn't the rebounding component of his game. Rebounding is so fucking important. Kobe is so much ahead of Kyrie in that as well too. So like that is also part of the game. Like there's tons of super athletic people that get no rebounds. Michael Porter Jr. is crazy athletic. He averages like 1 rebound a game. He could unlock his game so much more if he developed the skill of being a good rebounder. Dennis Rodman didn't get rebounds because he was fucking the biggest dude. He understood you miss it this way, the ball is probably going to go there. That is a skill, fam.
Okay. You good?
Oh, I'm fine, bro. I'm fine.
Okay. All right, well, good episode, man. I'll see you on the next one.